Hello and welcome back to the MCTC Anime Club review. I am Crimson Lord.
Hey guys, Shunjump 24/7 here.
And today we'll be reviewing an anime series from at least I'd like to say a couple, maybe 3 years ago. Myriad Colors Phantom World. Now, as for this anime per se, it's kind of like one of those paranormal science animes, but instead of it being theorized, it's actually in the anime. There's actual mythical creatures such as yokai, ghosts, other paranormal beings that are actually in the world of this series. And this also affects the people around, in which people are born with supernatural abilities relating to these phenomena, such as people being spirited away, or odd objects coming to life for some reason. But the difference is, they actually are given a scientific perspective on this with a little paranormal research mixed in with it. So, the story follows a group of characters. We start off with Haruhiko Ichijo and Mai Kawakami, who attend a school that has clubs of teams that investigate and deal with these paranormal activities, which are known as phantoms, which take a variety of forms. Their job is to find them and seal them away before they cause any destruction or panic among the regular human populace. And it's kind of like one of those school-based animes, so it's not all paranormal fighting and stuff. There's sometimes situations where it's like life-changing experiences, and for the first half of the anime, it basically is the personal background of all the characters that are leading up before it gets into like the real story. And speaking of which, we'll start with the main male protagonist, Haruhiko Ichijo. He may be the main character, but compared to all the others, his powers are still in growing from the look of it. At first, all he had going for him was he's able to seal phantoms with his sketchbook, which he calls the Book of Thoth. And yes, I'm aware that's the name of the Egyptian god of literature, but like I said, most of these things in the anime relate to supernatural phenomena that are caused for either gods or spirits. But basically, he's pretty much the weakest of the group, and he's supposed to be the leader. But he also has a talent for summoning creatures by drawing them on the sketchbook as well. Next would be Ruru. She is what's known as the phantom, one of the phantoms in this anime, but compared to the others, she's capable of speech and a more solid physical form. Although she's one of the more harmless, and she may look like a fairy, but with the way she's dressed, she's more like a genie. A very perverted-minded genie, I'll admit, whose whole existence is loving to tease those around her, but Haruhiko most of all. Next is Mai Kawakami, a skilled martial artist whose power involves using the elements of the pentagram in some mythology, in which the elements are fire, water, wood, earth, and metal. But she invokes these powers by stimulating the spiritual pressure points around her body, from her chest, her spleen, kidneys, wherever it's supposed to be. And I assure you, this is a TV-14 anime, so don't get any ideas. Anyway, she's pretty much the strongest of the group, but despite that, they have to eventually get some more members. In which case, in the first episode, they do. Reina Izumi. I guess how do I describe her? She would be one of the rich girl characters of the anime, in which she leads this life, but she keeps it a secret from her parents, who are pretty much have high expectations of her, don't want her associating with the wrong crowd. It's the same old story. Her ability is that she's able to seal phantoms away. She's what's known as a phantom eater, in which case she devours the phantoms. And I'm not sure if this is part of it, but she has a big appetite to go with that power. And she can still keep a slender figure afterwards, so she's also one of those repeated kind of characters. And she may be the shy kind of type, although she knows a lot about self-defense, used mainly in Haruhiko in cliched situations. But she's a bit skeptic about being with a group of people like her at first, but she eventually warms up to them. However, the next character isn't so easy to warm up to because she's a bit antisocial. Koito Minase. Her power is that she's able to generate sound waves to attack phantoms or seal them away, which she does by using a sort of lyric that she hums to herself before she activates her power. Although she's pretty much seen in the first episode, she's more like a background character and prefers not to get along with the group so much. She's the lone wolf of our group, but I think through the first few episodes she's starting to get used to being around them. Last but not least is the youngest of the group, Kurumi Kumamakura. Basically, when I say young, she's pretty much the grade schooler of the group. But she has a rare gift as well. She's able to make her teddy bear into a giant fighting machine that helps her fight the phantoms. So, in a way, her powers are similar to Mai's, but in her case, she's able to use her bear for that. Although she's the shyest of the group, that's for sure. And as you can tell from her name, and you'll see from her habits, she's a big fan of bears, which I guess has been her thing ever since she was a little kid. But who can blame her? Having a teddy bear ever since she was born pretty much would have some effect on that. Anyway, moving on to art and music. I would say when it comes to the design of the phantoms, seeing as how they're supposed to be beings that are in between the spiritual phenomenon and the real world, they are kind of pixelated a bit, but not so much that we can't be able to see them. We see them fine, but they are still like on the borders, so they have to be glitched in some way to make it believable. But some of the creatures they created are pretty awesome. Especially like in some instances where Haruhiko is able to have them on a sketch pad. It's like seeing the final design of the creatures before they are put into the anime. As for the music, it seems kind of techno to other situations. I guess it depends on who's attacking. But yeah, as for the sceneries and everything else around us, it's pretty good. Something negative. Honestly, this is my second time watching the anime, but I honestly can't say anything negative about it. And then, I would say my final thoughts. I would highly recommend this anime for anyone who's into paranormal science or supernatural school genres. And let me just say, you would not only enjoy the supernatural part of it, but also the bits of comedy that are in it. My scoring is 5 out of 5. Anyway,
I also give it a 5 out of 5.
Alright, so it's 10 out of 10 for today. Anyway, that's all for today's review. And you'll join us next week for when we watch an anime movie, which will be the last for a while once the semester is over. Until then, this is the MCTC Anime Club signing off.